Hello everybody, this is Anna, also known as Anna Nita on Ravelry, and on the screen you can see where you else can find me if you want to follow me around on social media. I'm sorry if my voice is sounding a little bit weird or wonky. I have an itchy throat, but I have grabbed already some East Frisian black tea, my favorite go-to tea, to keep it, smooth and to keep my throat a little bit smoother. There you can see my dog. Yeah, that's Benny, a West Highland White Terrier. If you're tuning in the first time, I will very heartily, warmly welcome you to this podcast. It's a knitting and crocheting podcast. And for all those of you who are tuning in regularly and you decided another time to hit the play button and listening to me talking about our passion, crafting, thank you very much. I hope you all will enjoy the show. If I'm counting correctly, this is the 68th episode. That's awesome. We are very close to 70. Seven is an awesome number and 70 is just more awesome. I don't know why, but it is. So first of all, Vlogmas is happening for all of you who didn't notice that my channel is full of new videos. I'm uploading a video for Vlogmas every day and I'm pretty good at the moment. I really didn't expect that I can show so much, although I'm working nearly full-time. So yes, every day a Vlogmas episode. And I'm very happy that I'm full back in my knitting mojo. So extremely back. So like I'm already thinking, I have many projects on the go and I'm already thinking about all the next projects and all our next make-alongs for the upcoming year. I'm already planning out everything and you guys, it's awesome. Our year will be awesome. And oh yes, we have 2 year-long knit-alongs running. The Year of Ornaments. Craft all the ornaments, put your finished objects in the finished objects thread in the Anna Nita podcast group on Ravelry. Ravelry is the place to go if you want to participate in our knit-alongs, make-alongs. Not only knit-alongs, you can also crochet or whatever you want to do. And then we have the treasure chest along. That's an awesome along and I think you also love it because there are so many entries. The treasure chest along does mean you craft. However, knitting, crocheting, weaving, stitching, sewing, I don't care. You craft something for someone else as a present for whatever occasion. If it's not for you, you can enter it. And at the end of the year, I will draw 2 winners. So 1 winner for the ornament along, and there are the possibility. You might be very lucky in the Year of Ornament along because there are not so many entries. And I will draw a winner from the treasure chest along at the end of the year. If someone is out there who want to donate a prize, a physical prize, maybe it's easier from US to US, you can reach out to me and then I can give away also a physical prize. But if I have to ship it, so to say, it has to be digital. Okay. Let's go to the finished objects. I have 1 finished object and now I'm realizing that I didn't put them on the blockers, but I think this colorway is so famous. I don't need the sock blockers for that. I have finished my pumpkin spice latte socks. It's a yarn by Gnome Acres. Unfortunately, they don't dye anymore and I hope that one day Amanda will come back into the indie dyer community and will dye again because I really like their yarns. I really do. So I knit the Gnome Acres yarn for socks with 2mm needles because it's a very light fingering weight yarn, in my opinion. What can I say about it? Contrasting heel and toe. Mostly I do the cuff in the fun part, so in the color, because when I start to knit a sock, I always want to start with the fun part about knitting socks, and that's the variegated or self-strapping yarn. I rarely knit patterned socks in a solid color. Just because it's, for me, a little bit boring. The most of my garments, that's not handmade, but the most of my garments I do, no, every piece I have knit for myself, a real garment, is in a solid color. So I can play with sock yarn because I hide them in my shoes. Okay, yeah. 64 stitches with 2mm needles. These were my fall socks. I try every year to make fall and Christmas socks. Yeah. I will talk about sock knitting and my goals for the upcoming year in the middle of the episode. So I have forgotten to talk about my goals regarding sock knitting in my podcast. So this is future Anna talking to you, because I say, oh, I would talk about this at the end of the episode, and I didn't. So I wanted to participate in the next year's Box of Socks call hosted by Woollen Vine, so Kristen Lira. I never did in the last years, and this year I set the goal, I want to participate, knit a pair of socks every month in 2019. And now she said in her latest episode that she won't host this anymore. But I want so badly I want to make a knit along for socks that I am forced to knit through all of that. I have so much sock yarn in here. There is so much sock yarn. That's ridiculous. I mean, look at this. That's all sock yarn. The whole box is sock yarn. I have to knit socks and I want to knit socks. And here is also much sock yarn. So here are the sweater quantities of yarn. But under that is a lot of sock yarn. So I thought we should do... Benny, was suchst du da? So I thought we should do a sock knit along. I thought, should we do this themed or only sock themed, so that you can knit every sock? I thought about having it something to do with Dobby, only in the name, like Free Dobby or Free the House Elves or something like that. At the moment I will call it Sock Along, and I wanted, because Kristen doesn't do this anymore, so I thought for our group we could do a Sock Along for 2019. That's what I wanted to talk about, but we will talk about our knit alongs and make alongs at the end of the year again. But please write down in the comments below how we should call this sock knit along for 2019. I don't set the goal that you have to knit one pair of sock per month, but knit as many socks as you want or so, you know, that we could set a goal, a personal goal, everyone in the first posting of our thread. For example, oh, here are these 4 balls of sock yarn, and I want to knit through all these balls of yarn in 2019, for example. Or we could do a kind of year calendar for us. For example, you grab 1 ball of yarn, put it into a bag, write the month on it, in which month you want to knit socks with it, and that's your goal for our sock along. I don't know, please write down in the comments below how you want to do this, how you would call this sock along without copycatting it, what other podcaster maybe already do. So future Anna says goodbye. Okay, now we come to works in progress. If you have watched my Vlogmas episodes, or one of my Vlogmas episodes, you know that I have 2 mini advent calendars from Swaps. Since, is it the 2nd or the 3rd time already that I'm doing this? I think it's the 2nd time, and this will be a thing I do every year now. I love sock yarn minis. But honestly, I can't, and I don't want, no, not really don't want, I can't afford a indie dyed advent calendar, minis advent calendar, because that's For an advent calendar, too much money for me. And you only have this one dia. So I thought, why not swapping advent calendars with another fiber friend? And so I picked yarn minis from my leftovers or from Opal, because Opal also has these minis, and swap with another person. So, and I swapped 2 advent calendars this year, actually 3, but because of postal difficulties, I only have 2 at the moment, but the 3rd will be on my way, or on its way to me. And with these advent minis, I do 1 square every day for my granny square blanket. Shall I grab it, or do you know which blanket it is? I guess you know the blanket. If you really, I showed them many times, and also in Vlogmas, because I have it in the living room now, and here I'm in my room. So that's the square from yesterday, but I have finished a whole row now, because I started the row already earlier. I always do 10, okay, let me see, how can I show you? I always do 10 squares in a row. Okay, so the blanket will be about 140, about my arm span, centimeters wide, and I want to make it 200 centimeters long. So I will show you the squares from my advent calendars. Yeah, I hope yeah. Okay, 1, 2, these are not the days. 3, 4, 5. This is a colorway I love and I have to buy. 6, 7, and 8. And today is December the 9th, and I still have to crochet them. I always pick a color which goes well to the next square, so mostly I only crochet 1 square, and sometimes both minis of the day don't really fit, or if that happens, I use 1 mini of my stash for 1 square per day, just in case. So I love all the minis I have received. So this is from Nina from the This or That podcast, I guess, and I think this is out of her fading. How was it sweater called? So Faded or so? I always forget these things. So this is really awesome because it's so peachy and it has sparkle. And this is such an electric blue. I love it. I think I have to make a sweater out of this colorway. It's by Leading Man Fiber Arts, and this is from Melody, the other lady I swapped with. And it's just awesome. If I ran out of yarn before my square is done, I just grab an according color to finish this square. And I don't care. I think it's a scrappy blanket, and if you choose a color which matches, you won't really notice that. Like here I did the same. Yeah, you can tell, but it looks pretty. Although it's over scrappy in that case. I don't know how to say that. So that's my work in progress. I have to connect the stripe to my blanket. The other work in progress is my this year's Christmas sock. So that was, yeah, a lot of experimenting. Okay, here you can see I have already turned the heel. I always knit my socks cuff down. It's a self-striping. It's an Austrian yarn by Ferner Wolle, and it's this year's Christmas color. I found out that they dye a Christmas color every year. I don't know since when, because it wasn't really a German or Austrian thing. I only knew these editions from America, and that's the reason why I love the English-speaking community so much, because you are so innovative and awesome. This is not a fingering weight. Well, it's a heavy fingering weight, I would say. We have in Germany and Austria different kind of sock yarn weights. So with 4 strands, 6 strands and 8 strands. This is in between 4 and 6. Yeah, in between 4 and 6. Because it doesn't say anything on the tag. And normally you know how many stitches you have to cast on with 8 strands sock yarn or 6 or 4 strands sock yarn. 4 strands is the normal sock yarn you all use with 400 meter on 100 gram. This has 150 gram and 450 meter. So it's, yeah. I cast on, I think, 3 times until I found out how many stitches I need. And what did I say? I have 56. On every needle I have 14 stitches, so 56 stitches for my shoe size. And I didn't have a contrasting color in that yarn weight because it's really not a typical yarn weight. I would have had for 6 strands sock yarn, but that's not 6 strands. So I used a fingering weight, very thin fingering weight, and held it double. I pulled from the outside of the cake and from the inside of the cake and held double. It's thicker. It's yeah, you can see that it is thicker. Here, this red is still sock yarn, and then comes the double held fingering weight. But I was in fear, or I was scared, or I was worrying about the sock being too tight around my ankle. And so I have more room with the thicker yarn, so with a double held yarn. And I tried it on and it's fitting, so it's awesome. You have to experiment. You have to be brave when you're a crafter. You have just to try out, because you can't Google everything. Yeah, and it's working out, and because it's a thick yarn, I can definitely do this until Christmas if I want to, and maybe even cast on another Christmas sock. Who knows? I still have Christmas yarn left. So that is a lot of fun. I had a little bit of knitting time in the last school days because because of things I talked about already in Vlogmas, and it would belong to the blathering section. But it was awesome that I could knit at work, before work and during work. It was awesome. And last work in progress is also a purchase. I have purchased, since I'm a crocheter and since I learned about the crocheting community, I wanted to try out Stylecraft, the yarn company Stylecraft, because the ladies, the crocheters and all the crochet designers are using Stylecraft Special Decay. And I always thought that's weird, because the knitting community is a little bit, we use normally more luxurious yarn, so no acrylic content, the most of us. And all these fancy crocheters use 100% acrylic. So I thought there must be something about that yarn that it is so special. For my blanket I also used acrylic, but a German brand, a very traditional old German brand, Schachenmeier. So you would pronounce it Schachenmeier, also in decay. Because I didn't want to pay so much for acrylic yarn as Stylecraft wants me, because this is less expensive, the German acrylic yarn, and it was easier for me to get. So now I ordered a Stylecraft Special. Is it called Special? Yeah, Stylecraft Special, but it's chunky, because they all the crocheters said that it is so soft, softer than every other acrylic yarn they have worked with. I can say now that I have cast on already my project, it's absolutely the same quality as Schachenmeier. So I would say, let me check again. Maybe a tiny little bit of a difference, but not worth to order abroad, in my opinion. So for all the German-speaking viewers among us, get Schachenmeier, because it's easier for us to get. I bought three are these balls? I don't know. 3 skeins balls. Because I want to make a Christmas present out of that for someone. A scarf. This pattern is called Mistake Rib. Yeah, I think Mistake Rib Scarf by Pearl Soho. It's a free pattern on their website. Let me see if I can, if the light is good. Yeah. Yeah, it's very stretchy because it's a rib. I have cast on, let me see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 31 stitches to get the width I wanted to. Because of the rib it gets more narrow. Can I say narrower? I don't think so. So more narrow. And this will be, I have calculated already, I have knit up 27 grams already, and I divided it and calculated, and this will be around 180 centimeters long. That's the perfect length for a shawl, in my opinion. For a scarf, I'm sorry. Yeah. It's very easy, only knits and purls. And this repeat is over 1 row. You do every row the same thing. And I'm knitting this with 6mm needles on my Knit Pro Dreams out of my interchangeable needle set. It's very rare that I use these thick needles, but it is so much fun to use a thick yarn because you have so much progress in so little time. Yeah, that's awesome. It's a lot of fun, and this will, I guess, that will be finished till Christmas. If not, the recipient will understand. I know. And I already announced that I will make something for this person, because this person needs a scarf, and so it's no problem. And it came in this little, or not little, in this pretty bag. I like these kind of things. It's always awesome. Yeah, then I have another purchase. My knitting friend, my lovely knitting friend Karina, did me the favor and bought it for me when she was in the yarn shop. Because our local yarn shop, now I can again say local because it's local to my working place. Not local to where I live, but local to my working place. We too wanted to have the new West Yorkshire Spinners signature Christmas color sock yarn. Yay, fairy lights. I really love that. So here in Austria it's really not typical to use colored fairy lights. We always have yellow light, so colorless light bulbs. But I really love that you Americans often use on your Christmas tree these colored fairy lights. And that's the reason why I wanted to have it. I think I didn't buy Candy Cane last year because I have a similar colorway already on my feet. And another one from Motley and the Squid in my stash. But I think I want to purchase Candy Cane another time because I want them all. I'm a collector. I hope collector is the right word. Even as a child I collected stuff like eraser or marbles and something that isn't really expensive, but I wanted to have them all in all shapes and colors. And yeah, I'm a collector still as an adult, so I want to have every Christmas color from, yes, West Yorkshire Spinners. Now we come to my swatch, because I have talked a lot already about about the Weasley sweater I want to make. Here is, can I show you a picture? I will put it here over there somewhere. I want to make the Weasley sweater and the yarn has arrived. I showed you on Vlogmas, and here is my swatch. Wait. Yeah. These 3 segments are knit with different needles. And I prefer this segment. I think you can only see the difference in person, but I think this is the most smooth and not wonky part of this swatch. This is 50% virgin wool, 50% acrylic, and sorry, my throat. And I still have to calculate, I haven't finished my calculation, how many stitches I should cast on, because I'm in between size of the pattern and I don't want it to be too wide, but wide enough. It's meant to be oversized, but I don't want to overdo it with oversizing. And because I won't use the needle I get gauge with, I have to recalculate everything. Because I have 2 stitches, with the needles I want to use, I have 2 stitches more on 4 inches than the pattern calls for. I can get gauge with a smaller needle, but I don't like the fabric it creates, so I still have to decide which size I want to cast on. And I won't wait until Christmas Eve, because I thought to knit the sweater or to cast on the sweater at Christmas Eve as my special Christmas Eve cast on. No. I learned from the last years. All the last years I wanted to do a Christmas Eve cast on, and I wanted to do something over special, and I ended up totally stressed, frustrated, and without a cast on. Last year I wanted to knit a sock out of Gnome Acres mistletoe, but I didn't want to only do a normal sock. I wanted to make a folded cuff and a special pattern, and it didn't work out. And it was so stressful, and I didn't, as I told you many times, in Austria and Germany, the Christmas Eve is the day. We celebrate the Christmas Eve, not so much, yes, also the 25th, but normally everything is finished on the 25th. You are a guest at someone's house, or someone will visit you, but you do the preparation already on Christmas Eve. And you get the presents on Christmas Eve, and all the big stuff is on Christmas Eve, and all the work is on Christmas Eve. So yeah, it has to be something easier. And I will be outside on Christmas Eve. That means it has something to be, I can communicate with other people during the craft. So yeah, I will cast on this year as Christmas Eve cast on a stinking normal sock. But out of a very special yarn, and I think I will use Gnome Acres Hermione, because Hermione is my favorite Harry Potter character. Gnome Acres is one of my favorite yarns. It's very special to me, and I think that will be my cast on. I think so. But the Weasley sweater I will cast on sometime in the next days, I think. Because I really want to have it. I want to have the Weasley sweater. I don't have any projects anymore to show. No, I don't. Now I come to the blathering section. I will keep the blathering section shorter this time, because I'm doing all the blathering in Vlogmas, and I don't want to repeat myself. But I want to show you what I have received. One St. Nicholas present I have received. I showed already on Vlogmas, but it is so awesome, and I was so glad to receive this that I have to show it again. Just before showing, I want to remind you that I'm a small things girl. I'm freaking out, and I'm happy about the small things. You can gift me something very expensive and very big. For example, I would love to have the Hogwarts castle by Lego. It costs 500 euro or 400 euro, and it's big and it's expensive, and if someone would gift me that, I would cry, and I would be so happy. But the things I'm really freaking out about is the small things. I don't know why. It's a thing. I don't know. And this is what I have received from my boyfriend for Saint Nicholas. It's a Ravenclaw sign. You can, with nails, put it on your wall. And I'm Ravenclaw. I did the Pottermore quiz, and I already knew I belong to Ravenclaw because I really love to study and to learn, and I love intelligent people. That's the thing. It's the sexiest thing you can have or you can be is intelligent. Really. So smart people. I love smart people. That's the reason why why I'm so happy about this present, and I'm grateful that he is so aware of everything. No, aware is not the right word. That he is so conscious about what I like, because he doesn't know much about the Harry Potter world, but he knew that I was a Ravenclaw and that he is a Slytherin because we made the quiz together. I forced him to do the Pottermore quiz. And so he respects that I, as an adult, still love Harry Potter. Many people can't understand that. So, awesome present. And yesterday I had friends over and we did Secret Santa. We have drawn our, the names digitally. So there is a site which is called Secret Santa Generator, and I typed in all my friends and myself, and that I want to also take part in Secret Santa, and entered all the email addresses, and we received everyone received an email with the name of the person you have to gift something, and that was so much fun. And I have received from my best friend. Now I know that he's... In the beginning we didn't know, but after that we were allowed to ask and to say what we think from whom that gift is. From who? I don't know, sorry. So, here's the first one. I received 2 things, and my dog received something. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? Don't let the muggles get you down. That is so awesome. And I use these things always for my cups, because I have a white table, coffee table, and you can see I don't know the English word. You can see everything on the table, so I always use these things. That's awesome. Until yet I have used this one, also a present, but now I will use this one. Don't let the muggles get you down. Yes. Away with the muggles. And the other thing is so awesome, and I was so touched, and I don't know, many people won't understand, but it's a really small thing and something for children, but I love it so much. And Hermione is my most favorite character from Harry Potter. And I received this. It's Hermione. It's a keychain or key ring, how do you say that? It's very heavy, and it's Hermione, and I like Hermione. And the wand is really looking like Hermione's wand. And the Gryffindor shawl and the sign. Yeah, and I think it's from the same producers as the Funko Pops. And I have decided now that I want to collect all the Harry Potter Funko Pops. I said I'm a collector, and I haven't collected anything besides yarn in the last years. Okay, books, but not really collecting like a special book series or so, and I have to have them. I bought the first illustrated version of the Harry Potter books, and I want to have them all the 7 illustrated Harry Potter books, and the Funko Pops. I want them. I know you have no use for them, and they don't really have a purpose. You can't do anything with them, but I love them, so I will do. So in January I think I will start and buy my first Funko Pop Harry Potter figure. And I want to have Snape. I think in the right order: Snape, Dobby, Dumbledore, and then the rest. I want them all. Snape is... So from the main characters, so from the children, so to say, Hermione is my favorite. And from the adults in the film, from the adults, I think, yeah, it's Snape. I loved Snape from the beginning, from the first book or film on. Although I thought Snape was the most evil guy in the universe. At the end, I knew better, and I was happy that it ended the way it ended with Snape, so that we found out something. I don't want to spoiler anything, but yeah, for me Snape is a misunderstood man who has very much love and is ultra smart. As I said, smart people, I love smart people. After all this time, always when I see this scene, I cry. I get goosebumps and I cry. That is love. Beyond death. I mean, who couldn't love such a man? Who couldn't? I love Snape. So, yeah. So that was my Secret Santa present. So awesome. Let me think. I think there isn't anything else to talk about because I have talked about everything, my party yesterday and what we did and what we ate and played and so on. Already in Vlogmas. Nein, Benny, das wird nicht funktionieren. So I won't ramble on about that. I will do my best to edit the podcast very quickly because I also will have to add another Vlogmas episode. Okay, in that case, I don't have to say anything. There's only left to say that I wish you a very lovely second Advent, Sunday of Advent, and a happy crafting, upcoming crafting week. And we will see each other tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow, and the day after the day after day after the day after the day after tomorrow because of Vlogmas. So, bye bye!